nipples are submerged.
This was the last shot we filmed. The camera flying through the air, landing with a splash and sinking to the bottom of a Scottish river. The camera was gone, and with it every single moment from the trip. We might have just lost the entire story. All of it lost in the current. We splashed around in the river for what felt like hours. Maybe we'd never find it. Maybe it would be washed downstream and get found by some salmon fisher or kid walking his dog days from now, maybe years. Maybe they'll piece together the story from half a battery's worth of footage. Maybe it'll be one of those headline stories of a lost camera found in the river, footage recovered from an unknown adventure. Maybe they'd stick their memory card in their computer and start to piece together this jumble of adventure motorcycle memories. Maybe they'd recognise the gear we were wearing. Maybe they'd see the logo on the jacket and say, "Hey, I know these guys." But for us, in that moment, crawling along the bottom of the river, I felt this story was over. But still, we had to try. This trip meant something to us. So here it is, the story of riding to another country, a wild bivvy, and a real interesting swing. This is what we would have shown you if I'd caught that camera. This is probably a bit of a daft idea, but... We're heading from Northumberland, the northernmost county in England, over the border into Scotland, a proper Borderlands bivvy. It's my backyard, but Will had come up from the south of England, the kind of ride that's just far enough to feel like an escape, but still close enough to bail if things go sideways. We started with the usual suspects, wet boots from river crossings, and luggage that wouldn't stay put. This is largely down to my terrible packing. I think my luggage needs a bit of attention. It was just myself and Will for the most part. Davey joined us for the day, generously giving his time as cameraman, but work and school run and life meant he wasn't going to stay for the wild bivvy, which frankly, I don't think he was too sad about. And who am I to blame him? After all, we had everything we needed apart from the tent, but we'll get to that bit later. After leaving home, we had some bigger roads and then some smaller roads before winding our way onto some of the finest green lanes in the country. One of the best things about riding your local trails is no two rides are the same. It's dry, dusty, it's wet, slippy, it's freezing cold, it's snowing, it's scorching hot. We ride throughout the year and no two rides are ever the same. As we ventured up over the Ingram Valley, Will pulled over. He could remember it. We'd been here before, this exact spot.
5 years ago. Sat here.
This is where Clive, he went over that bump. And there wasn't much ground clearance anyway on his CB500X, and just the weight of it, he just smashed the sump guard.
So what?
Our friend Clive had used up every millimetre of suspension travel and then some, and smashed the sump guard of his CB500X right here on this very spot. But as adventure riders know, it's this Type 2 kind of fun that keeps us coming back for more. And as we pushed further north in search of the wild, we got closer to the unknown. So up there, behind me, Davey has been given camera duties, so he's under a bit of pressure. There you go. Nicely done, thank you.
Don't sack me, please don't sack us. Try my best.
How are you feeling about the prospect of not just wild camping, but wild camping without a tent?
Yeah, well, I've never done it before. So Adventure Spec Jim swears it's the best thing you can ever do.
Have you got a midge net?
I've got a midge in it, and I'm going to bathe in smidge before I go to sleep.
Because really, if it was the end of the day, you could just put your tent up here, or not even tent. Do you know what I mean? You just lie down and sleep. seeing what's coming. That's quite cool. Now down to just 2, we made tracks, and as the clouds lifted and the sky opened up, so did the trails. And before long we were back onto the blacktop. Normally on a day ride we'll make it up to Wooler, turn around and it's time to head home. But because we were out for the night, there was no need to turn around. And what better excuse to spend half an hour visiting what has become the biggest attraction in the tiniest town in the north of England. Ardgethryn is an English whiskey distillery, and we did explain that we were on the bikes and we're continuing after this trip, so full disclosure, we were literally wetting our lips with the tiniest amount of English whiskey just to get the taste. However, we did visit the shop and take a wee dram with us for the evening. With our tanks refilled and ready for the evening, we pressed on over the border. If adventure exists at the edge of your comfort zone, then the end of a hard day's ride without any accommodation or plan for where you're going to stay certainly puts you in that zone. But this time of year the days are long and we had plenty of time to search, and eventually Will spotted gold. It's wild camping. I wouldn't say it's necessarily that secluded, but we found a nice little spot. Bit of shelter. Firewood around there. What do we do now? There's nothing, no tents to set up. Oh. That's it. What is that?
Luxury pillow. Where's your luxury pillow?
I need to relax into this a little more. You've also got a seat.
See, yeah. Do you want a latte as well, actually?
I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. I'll probably be absolutely knackered tomorrow morning, but I can just have a leisurely day. Nice. Right, I'm gonna go get some firewood.
I mean, it is good because you get right in there with it, right?
What an amazing end to an awesome day. Don't think I could have asked for anything more than this. This is going to go quickly. I should have got a big bottle. It's quite misty up in the hills. I think we probably dodged a bullet by sleeping lower. If we were meant to sleep up high, and if we are, I think everything would be soaking wet. Eventually we rolled out of our bivvies and prepared the coffee. We hadn't been eaten to death by midges, it hadn't rained, we hadn't been trampled to death by curious cows. Sleeping in the bivvy and not having a nylon tent over our heads had been absolutely fine. We broke camp and removed any sign that we'd been there. When you sleep in the wild, you've also got to wash in the wild. We stripped off and got straight in the water. We were covered in dirt and grime and sweat. Everything that's brilliant about riding motorcycles on trails and camping in your pants in wild bivvies. We could have headed back and jumped in a shower or a bath at home, but why would we when we're right next to a river? And what a river it was, apart from this one terrible, unfortunate thing. The water was fresh and invigorating. The camera toss was enthusiastic. The catch was there was no catch. 1 second the camera's flying through the air, recording our adventure at 25 frames per second. The next, it's gone, sunk to the bottom of the river. And just like that, the story is over. There are times when fate can be cruel, but it turns out not today.
Yes!
Here's the thing, for a while we truly thought it was gone. And in that moment, standing there, dripping wet in the river, we realised something kind of important. Even if we never found the footage, it still happened. The ride, the bivvy, the fire, good times, all of it was real, and it mattered. Not because we filmed it, but because we lived it. We do all this, the riding, the camping, the exploring, because it stays with us. The footage is great, and it's how we share the story, but the memory, that's the part that's actually worth keeping. But yeah, we snatched the camera back from the jaws of defeat, but even if we hadn't, we'd still call this one of the best rides we'd ever done. But next time though, we'll be packing a snorkel